This is the Athlete of the Week, and it's brought to you by Diamond Point and Sauk Centre here on Midmnsports. And with us today is a Sauk Centre athlete. This is Dylan Haskamp. Well, Dylan, you're a senior now. Can you believe it?
I can't.
Has it gone fast for you?
It definitely. It's gone fast.
Let's talk about, tell us about your family first, okay? Who's in it?
My parents are John and Carrie Haskamp, and I have an older brother, Jake, and a younger sister, Kelsey.
Mm-hmm. And what activities are you in at school?
Football, baseball, and captains and leaders.
All right. Refresh our memory now for the football team. What did you do?
I was linebacker and a running back.
Mm-hmm. And for baseball?
Pitcher and shortstop.
All right. I want to bring up a couple of things with you as an athlete, as I've watched you grow and develop as an athlete. How would you describe yourself emotionally as a football player? What kind of a player are you?
Pretty fired up most of the time. Like to be aggressive and make tackles and get in the mix a lot. And yeah.
Do a lot of talking out there?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
What are some of the things that you're talking about? What are you trying to do?
Just we get formations that we go through from practice and then try to, point it out and what play they could run and just making sure everyone's kind of in the spot they need to be.
So this is, I'm getting to the point of, so you're a very emotional football player, and it's high intensity. Now you go out here and you're supposed to pitch a baseball game.
Yeah.
Tell us about the differences and how you handle that.
I know when I was younger, it was if I'd mess up or whatever, I'd get really mad, and then that'd kind of mess me up in the field. But I've kind of learned to harness it and just take a breath and sit back a little bit.
And Haskamp's pitch, strike three on a swing. So he strikes out the side. 3 straight for Dylan Haskamp. He has struck out 8 in the ball game.
In baseball, you just have to settle things down. And again, how do you do that when you're out there pitching?
If I miss a spot or make a bad pitch, you just come back with something and try to get the things rolling, get stuff rolling again.
Let's also touch on too you as a hitter and how you've developed through the years. It seemed to me when you were a younger player, you'd swing at anything, you could hit anything. Is that the case right now that you do?
My approach is more if first pitch, if it's there, I'm swinging because that might be best pitch you get all at bat. So I'm trying to be up in the count and be up in the top of the order. You get more fastballs, curveballs. So kind of just sit fastball and react to the curve. Off speed.
Watching you play baseball too, I look at baseball as you throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball, you run. Mm-hmm. Out of those categories, and maybe this might surprise people, and I'm anticipating your answer, what's maybe the favorite thing for you out of all those?
Favorite, probably throwing. I like to throw.
Okay. I was anticipating you saying running.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, speed demon on the base paths.
Well, it's not always about speed, though, is it?
True, yeah. You don't have to be the fastest guy. You can be a smart base runner. And like Alex Kowski, last year, he stole third a bunch of times, and if you've seen Kowski run, he's not the quickest guy on the team, but he's definitely a smart base runner.
So, for example, the other game you had first and third situation. You're on third, and you had this play all set up, right?
Yep.
And so, what are you reading out there? What has to happen for that to work?
Well, the play was Kelsey got a big lead, and then they threw over, and he's in a rundown. So at third, you're waiting for a throw, or I went on the throw from the first baseman because I saw an innie outie. The second baseman didn't really have the greatest of arm, and first baseman threw it to him, and it's off to the races to home.
Mm-hmm. And you also had another play too when they threw it down to first base, and you were running at second base at that time.
Yep.
And so, what did you see in that play?
I saw the pitch before they threw it, and I was getting a big secondary at second. The catcher looked down at third, or looked down to first, like he was going to throw it. So I had that in the back of my mind, and then saw he threw it, and right when he threw it, I broke to third.
1 out, bases loaded, still tied at 2. The pitch to Ryan Shermers, way high, off the catcher's glove. Haskamp is coming home. He slides. He is safe at home. Sauk Centre wins the game. On a wild pitch, Dylan Haskamp, who figured in every run here today with his base running, he wins it. and Sauk Center wins in 8 innings. The final score, 3-2.
I want to touch on, too, that you've grown up as a baseball player. You played in the Little League here in Sauk Center. Can you talk about how you developed as a player through the Little League? And what I want to touch on is what's going well at Little League and maybe some things that could be improved on as a player yourself. What are some of the things that you see?
Well, when we were younger, it was really competitive, good athletes, and the in-house games in Sauk, it's just we're 5th and 6th graders, but we got a packed house at JC, and I think just the atmosphere of that is, we're really competitive. Like the grade above me was really competitive, and yeah, I'd probably say that's the biggest thing I see now. It's you go to a Little League game and it's like, geez, it's not really, the atmosphere is different from when we were kids.
Mm-hmm. So how do you see players developing then as you move through 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade? How do you become, in your eyes, how do you become a better baseball player?
Repetition. That's the biggest thing. You got to, take ground balls. You got to hit. You got to throw. It's just, you got to work at it.
Mm-hmm. I know that you do that. Do you see others doing that, or could they kind of pick up the pace, though, too?
Yeah, I know at the beginning of the season we weren't really hitting the ball that well, and after practice, me and a couple other guys were asked if I wanted to hit, and I was like, yeah. And then we had practically the whole team taking BP by ourselves, and I think guys are putting in the work, and good things to come, hopefully.
Because, let's face it, there's some pretty good competition out there, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, very good.
So as you look at these different programs, is that how you see them developing through the years too? Because you see a lot of these same guys.
Oh, absolutely. You find out in 7th, 8th grade, you're like, oh yeah, these guys are pretty good. There's good athletes, and you play football against them. You're like, oh, I remember that guy. And yeah, you definitely see that.
And they'll hand it off to Haskamp. He is in for the Sauk Center touchdown. So Dylan Haskamp scores from inside the 1, and Sauk Center adds to their lead. It's now 38-8.
Getting back to football then too, to develop as a football player, where do you see the football program as you've gone through it, and how do you keep on developing these players, and also too to get the interest to have these players go out?
I'd say the weight room has been a big change. Mr. Riley does a great job of trying to get guys in the weight room, and I call our senior class, like, we were Mr. Riley's first, we're the youngest grade that we had him for his first year, and I see a lot of guys, like in my grade from 10th to senior year, it was a lot of time in the weight room, and we get more and more guys, and I think the young guys are starting to follow suit with that, so that's good to see.
So with baseball now, next year, St. Cloud State, I hear, right?
Yep.
Okay. Take us through that process on how you ended up at St. Cloud State.
I got a call from Coach Dolan, and then that sparked my interest there because Will Funk was already playing there, and it's a great school, and kind of throughout 9th through 12th or whatever, and getting letters, and went to a few showcases, so just getting emails and calls and texts from different coaches, and just kind of looking at their school, how they play, and that's St. Cloud. I really like how they play, and yeah, they're very competitive, very good.
Do you have any indication as to how they're going to use you?
I think they're gonna. I'm a redshirt my freshman year, and then probably play second and pitch a little too, see how pitching goes, and then maybe move over to short down the road, but for now, I think second and pitch too. Mm-hmm.
Well, at that level, though, too, you got to hit the ball, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. How do you think that's going to go?
I think it'll go all right.
All right. Well, I hope so. Touch on, too, you've got something coming up here this summer, right, for baseball?
Yep.
Tell us about that.
It's I don't know if it's called this now, the Lions All-Star Game. It's June 22nd, so at that.
All right. Now, do you have something also, too, with the USA?
Yeah, it's called America's Team. It's, Brian Gruber, the head coach of Minnewaska, he's coaching that, and he got to pick the team, and it's a lot of guys from around the area. There's a few guys from the Wilmer area, I think, and then me, Matt Gruber from Minnewaska, and there's just guys around the central Minnesota area that are going to that.
So where are you going?
I'm not sure where in the Dominican we're going, but we're going to the Dominican.
Okay, all right. Are you having a fundraiser type thing going on?
Yeah, that was in February. We had that at the Bear Trap.
Okay, all right. Well, a senior now, and you're going to move on, and what kind of studies are you going to pursue?
Either elementary education or physical education. I haven't really made up my mind about that.
All right. I can see you doing that.
Yeah,
because you're a good leader. I like that. And I will say I like watching you play football because you are enthusiastic. You play with great energy. And in baseball, too, and I've told you this before, I like watching guys who know how to play baseball, and you know how. So congratulations. It's been fun watching you play.
Thanks, Mark.
And good luck, too, okay?
Thank you.
All right. That is Dylan Haskamp. He is the Athlete of the Week, and is brought to you by Diamond Point in Sauk Center.